Danielle Daniel. I am a licensed clinical social worker and Doctor of Clinical Psychology student. Hello for those of you on YouTube and Webinar Jam. This is Danielle Daniel. I push start at the same time, but they always lag. One starts quicker than the other, so I kind of have to do the introduction twice. So welcome. When you join, please say hello, where you're joining from, and also share this with your friends. We're going to talk about the science of emotions, which really means like how do emotions originate in the body? What can you do to manage emotions? And this is actually going to be my subject at the Holistic Emotional Wellness Summit. I've put the link in there on the Facebook, not YouTube, but the link in there so you can register. And actually yesterday was the last day for the early bird price. So the price has now gone up to $59. However, I'm kind of doing a special where I've left the price down for today. So if you are watching this on Tuesday, August 1st, you can still register for the Holistic Emotional Wellness Summit for $39. And so let me tell you a little bit about what that entails so you know what you're registering for. And if you've already registered, please type in and tell me that you're registered. And you can share this so that your friends could get an idea of what's going to be on the summit. I'm going to kind of go into a little bit of my topic today on the summit. And it's something I just did a research paper on, so it's kind of fascinating to me anyway. And so what the summit is I've put this entire thing together with over 30 other professionals, mental health and medical, but mostly mental health professionals. And we're going to talk about different ways to improve. Let's see, what do we got? I'm trying to think of all the topics because there's so many. Going from emotional abuse to emotional freedom, improve self-worth, confidence. There's subjects on PTSD, autism. I'm talking on the science of emotion. Someone else is talking on the science of mood, how food affects your mood. We're talking about anxiety. So there's so many subjects. And actually, my assistant has been recording all of the presenters, and she keeps telling me every day, she's like, oh my gosh, these presentations are so good. She's like, I just got done with another one. I haven't watched them yet. I'm excited. So we are recording our presentations right now, and you can register. The summit goes live August 14th through 19th. And it is going to be live. However, the recorded presentations, but the presenters will be live on with you, and you can chat with them. So we'll have live chat and the presenters on with you. And then from there, you have access to the recordings until January. It's how we need to get ready for the next summit, which we'll start promoting in January of next year. So really excited. But the coolest thing about the summit is the reason why we're doing this, okay? The whole reason is, two reasons. To give you guys a whole bunch of value in your homes on emotional wellness, on the brain, on everything you want to know to take care of your family, your clients, whoever it may be, and yourself, right? And the second reason I should say is to donate our time and expertise to give the money from this summit to pay and help fight against sex trafficking with our rescue. So it's Operation Underground Railroad, and they do an amazing job at fighting against sex trafficking and rescuing children. They go undercover and arrest these horrible, horrible people that are paying for and others that are enslaving children to have sex with them. It is awful. I'm sorry, it gets me so enraged. It's so awful. And we can do something about it, even simple as $39 registration today for the summit. We're donating that to them. We want to fight this. The more awareness, that's why these videos I talk about it, the more awareness we raise, the better. And I know we can make a huge dent in this all together. It just takes everybody their little piece that we can do, because I know we have busy lives and we've got finances, and I know these little pieces can help. And I'm excited that Jessica Mass, the director of the aftercare, so she works with the children that they rescue out of these, sex camps. She works with them to rehabilitate and help them get the services they need so that they can become powerhouses in helping others and living a wonderful life. And that's really the goal. So please register, if anything, just for the donation, but also for the value that you're going to get. So hello to everybody joining. I see there's a lot of you on. Go ahead and share this. That way people can get knowledge on the Holistic Emotional Wellness Summit. I'm going to keep today short, but I'm going to give you a little bit on my topic, which is the science of emotions. And I just want to say hi to people. Hi, June. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Pat. Glad you were able to get on time. And I saw there was a lot of other of you joining at the feed has already passed, so I can't see it. So, all right, so let's get started with the science of emotions and how to manage emotions. So first of all, people used to think, so I just did a research paper on this, and I had to kind of look at my research paper to trigger my memory because I went on vacation after finishing my research paper, and I was like, okay, I'm done. So now I'm looking at things again. So first note is, people used to think that emotions were all centered in the brain. The entire circuit had to do with the brain, and emotions were triggered because of just a thought. And it's really interesting that they have discovered, and through science and research, we have found that emotions, it's a very intricate circuit. It is not just the brain. It's actually tied into the entire body. And in fact, your heart can trigger an emotion before you feel an emotion. So your heart may trigger a communication to feel an emotion. Really interesting. So what's really cool is, think about, and I want you to type these in, what are some sayings that you've heard or you use to describe emotions that have a physical effect to them? Like when you say, I've got a gut feeling. Why do you think? I love the science. Why do you think you say gut feeling? Because you actually feel it in your gut. And they call the gut second brain because there's so many neurotransmitters in the gut. So it does produce. Your gut has just as much ability to feel as your brain does, or your brain produces, because of all the neurotransmitters. So gut feeling. What are some others? I would love to see you type in some. I know another one is, I could feel it under my skin, right? You say, I got goosebumps. Feel something crawling under my skin, like it's just, so again, this emotion of fear and like this creepy feeling is, you feel it in your skin and your body responds. You can get goosebumps, right? Or they call them lots of different things, but I call them goosebumps. So I wrote down a couple others. Choked up. Have you ever felt choked up? I have, and I know what happens is I feel so, whether it be from a real emotional response or sometimes I feel choked up when I'm angry because I get nervous of expressing myself. I don't like contention. It makes me like freeze. And so my throat will get choked and I won't even know what to say, and I can't even speak. So really interesting. So again, emotions lodge where you're feeling them, and you feel a physical sensation from it. And please type in some others you're thinking of. So another one that I wrote down, oh, your heart ached. We talk about, oh, they're going through a heartache. But I mean, why do we say that? Because you do, your heart, you feel it in your heart. Isn't that interesting? It's just all these emotions have a circuit inside of different parts of your body. Now, the heart is an interesting one. There's actually more chemical communication that gets sent from your heart to your brain than your brain sends to your heart. So your heart actually is a huge piece of the science of emotions here. One of the really cool things is they did a research experiment on the heart in regards to emotions. And they found that when there's negative emotions or like a negative response, like a response, one of them was as a disgust, another one was anger, those types of responses, the heart actually showed on I think it was an EKG. Hope I'm saying that right. Anyway, it was showed on this EKG, not EEG, right? So hopefully someone can correct me if I'm wrong. I wrote it in my research paper, but you forget these little things when you're live. So anyway, it showed this erratic, like just response from the heart on there. It was just like wild and like jagged edges. It's interesting, right? Then they showed with the response of, they showed the subjects like pictures that had emotional, like a beautiful feeling to them, like maybe of their children or just something very positive. And when they showed them positive things and creating positive feelings of peace and happiness, the heart waves actually went very smooth and calm. So your heart, your emotions affect more than just your brain. It affects the waves of your heart, the beating of your heart. It affects like your throat, like we talked about, your stomach, your gut. You feel these emotions always around you. And thank you, Marianne, like for typing in some stuff. I love for you to type in and be a little scribe for me. That really helps. So as you're looking at this, you think, how can you process emotions? Because what I find interesting is emotions can get stuck in these areas and can cause you some physical responses and problems. I think I may have shared this before. I have somewhere. But I'm going to tell you about my little nephew. And it was it was it was hilarious, actually, the experience. And I think I've shared it before, but it was such a good experience to learn what actually does happen in the body. So I'm visiting him, and he wants to go for a walk. He's about 3 years old. He wants to go for a walk, and he wants me to push him in his stroller. He loves that. And he's like, Aunt Danny. And then he starts like getting in, he's tired, right? So what do kids do when they're tired? They get in a tantrum, and he starts screaming at me. And he just like goes like ballistic on me. And I was like, okay, as soon as you come down, we'll go for a walk. He's like, no. And he just starts getting all mad, right? And so at that point, you don't reward the behavior. I know he's tired. You don't reward the behavior. I allow him to calm down before we just go. So I said to him, I said, hey, as soon as you can calm down and you can tell Aunt Danny you're sorry for yelling at me, we'll go for a walk. And he just gets stubborn. So how many of you guys have really stubborn kids? He gets angry and he's like, no, I'm not doing that. So I go inside and I sit on the couch. He's outside, the front door's open, and then he starts to walk over to the window. So he's between the front door and the window, and he's looking in. He's just like, freaking out. It was so hard not to laugh. But anyway, he's looking in the window, and he's crying and just getting all mad. And I just kept telling him, oh, I love you. I would love to go for a walk. As soon as you can come in and be calm and tell me you're sorry. And one of the things is, I have him say sorry, not because, he's 3. He doesn't need a huge apology, but what does sorry do? When we can apologize and have forgiveness, what does it do? And when we cry, things like that, it releases the emotions. So it's actually a very healthy behavior to teach and to learn and to do for us, is saying sorry, forgiving people, forgiving ourselves, and also crying, things like that, release. So those are good things. That's how we release them. So he's just angry. Finally, he stops screaming. He calms himself down. He comes in the house, and even though he's angry, or stubborn, he comes in the house and he's grasping his stomach. He's grasping his belly, and he's like, my belly hurts. I'm like, I bet it does, because I knew he had been so upset and emotional. And emotions do what? They lodge. They lodge in physical symptoms. So he comes in clenching his belly, and he crawls into my lap, and he's so cute. I just love him. Crawls into my lap, and he's like, oh, Danny, I want to go for a walk. I said, me too. I said, I love you. Can you say sorry, Danny, and then we'll go? And he buries his head. He just wouldn't do it. And I knew he wouldn't feel better in his belly if he didn't. So we stayed there about 10 minutes with him in my lap until his stubbornness went away. And finally he said, sorry, Aunt Danny, really quick. And I said, what? And he said, I'm sorry, Aunt Danny. And he said it real meaningfully as a little 3-year-old, And I hugged him, told him how much I loved him, and I said it was okay. And you know what was funny? Is all of a sudden, within, a minute, his stomach stopped hurting. He bounced out of my lap and wanted to go for a walk again. So it's interesting when we can do things to release our emotions, like cry, like say we're sorry and forgiveness. They will dislodge from parts that they get harbored in your body. So this is what I'm going to be talking about in the Holistic Emotional Wellness Summit, is how emotions, the circuit of emotions, there's more to it than I've even explained to you guys, the science, the research behind it, and then what we can do to release them. So another thing, of course, I'm going to talk about some oils here that we can do to release emotions is using the Emotional Aromatherapy Kit. How many of you guys have purchased or have ever tried the emotional aromatherapy oils? So one last thing about emotions is that because they're triggered and they are also counteracted with chemistry, right? So thoughts create chemistry, essential oils create chemistry, it just communicates in the brain. We can release and dislodge them. I see lots of hearts going by on Facebook, meaning you guys all love this emotional aromatherapy kit. It's amazing. And I want you to type in right now, this is what's interesting. Type in right now, what is your favorite emotional aromatherapy oil? Maybe you've got 1 or 2, but just go ahead and type in 1 or 2. So I would say my favorite is Passion. It has been for a while. I haven't, gotten off my high horse on Passion. I love the Passion essential oil. And so anytime I'm feeling like if I've encountered a negative situation or I'm not in a great mood, I'll put a little bit, maybe a Passion on is one I kind of choose to go to and motivate and cheer, the 3 I go to. So I'm seeing all your comments. Passion, yep. Tia said Passion, console and motivate, passion and motivate. Oh, they're so great. Passion and cheer. Yep. Oh, I'm loving seeing console is your favorite. Oh, they're so good. So anytime I'll put this on and it regrounds me. And I don't just say that, like I mean that literally scientifically. I have been, like the other day, I was feeling quite overwhelmed and just like flustered. I couldn't think straight. I was feeling irritable. I was like, I don't know what to do anymore. Like I had already tried to like talk things through in my own head. I couldn't figure it out. I put a little swipe of Passion Essential Oil right here. And within about, I'd say 3 minutes, and it's like I was just able to like calm down, let go of the negative things that were making it difficult for me to actually think straight. And then I was able to think more clearly and respond and finish my task that I was doing. So it was my research project. So anyway, these are great for pattern interrupt and causing a release of those emotions. So my friend has been going through a really rough time through a divorce, and I introduced her to the console oil, and she's just like, she can't get enough of it. She's like, oh my gosh, I need this oil. And she slept with it on. She was just like, in the morning, she's like, here it is. I'm like, you want to hold on to it? She's like, yeah, like the whole day. She just needed the console. So this is a great one for consoling, right? For grieving, for change, for just releasing those emotions. What do you do if you don't have the oils? I'm like, I don't know what people do. You just deal with it. You live with it, but you don't really get to process and just feel like what a flower can help you feel when you smell it, you know? Motivate for creating drive. This I used a lot during my research paper because I love what I research, but sitting down and writing like a 12-page paper and references and just like making it APA format for psychology, it's a little stressful. So I use Motivate to keep me going on that. And let's see, peace. I use this mostly on kids for behavior to keep them calm and keep them peaceful, right? Keep them in cooperative behavior. Let's see, Rachel says motivate and console. Marianne, cheer and motivate are your favorites. Yeah, cheer is the next one. And again, citruses that help uplift mood. I love the smell of that one too. Sometimes I'll put it on my wrists, and then because it gets in your bloodstream. It's not as close to the brain, but I like it because I can go like that, and I just sit and smell it all the time, so then it goes aromatically. And then lastly is forgive. Now, for some reason, it's my least favorite smelling oil of these, but it works really good. This is one that I really recommend if you're needing to release some emotions, is use forgive, because forgiveness, there's so many layers to forgiveness. And this is crucial in overcoming anything from your past or from currently that is plaguing you. And I think a big piece of that is forgiving yourself. And why not have an oil that promotes feelings of forgiveness to help you and aid you in forgiving yourself and others. If you feel like you've been, a victim of something, use this forgive oil. And that for me, and I'll just kind of end on that note, practicing forgiveness is one of the best ways, like I talked to you about with my little nephew, best ways to release emotions. And I know there's lots of different layers. As those layers come up, look at them. I was triggered the other day pretty hard by somebody. I was offended. And instead of just staying offended, I wasn't able to deal with it right then in that situation. But when I got, done the situation, I was like, I looked at it and I went, instead of being angry at myself for being offended and being, instead of like being upset with myself for not responding well, I looked at it and I said, you know what a good learning opportunity. I'm learning that I need to grow in this area. So I'm not triggered by this and don't get offended, because it just creates feelings of discontentment inside myself, which I talked to you what that does in your heart. So I used my forgive oil and just said a prayer and just said, help me find the forgiveness in my heart for myself and for that person, because it's my fault. It's all on me for taking any offense and being triggered. It's not that other person. They can deal with what their behaviors are, that that's just their thing. But what causes triggers for me is all about me. So I'm excited. I'm just going to end on that note and just tell you guys, I love the emotional aromatherapy. It does work. It's not placebo effect. It can't be placebo effect when you use it on kids that don't even know and they all of a sudden calm down, or use it on someone and all of a sudden their heart stops racing and it's just calm beating. I mean, it's a science. and it really does work. And I'm excited for you to join us on the Holistic Emotional Wellness Summit. Be sure to register. It's in the link here, and share this. And you'll get 32 other presentations, all on amazing subjects. And also your registration goes as the profits go to donate to Operation Underground, which we're so excited to give them as much money as we can from this summit. So everybody, thank you so much. And thank you, Desiree. So love hearing from you too. And you guys are amazing. Have a great Tuesday. We'll see you next week. Bye. Bye.